Hello, good afternoon. One more Thursday, here we are on LINGUA GYM TV, broadcasting simultaneously on Zoom, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So, hello everybody, wherever you are following us and following this webcast. I'm smiling because the first message on our chat is for our guest today, Luis Bond, because
Mhm.
it's his birthday. So, first of all, Luis, thanks for being here, considering that today is your birthday, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Mhm.
I don't know if I can ask how old are you?
Yes, of course. 36,
36, 36.
36, 36. Yeah.
Well, and you found some minutes today on your birthday to be with us and to enjoy and to share your point of view and your impressions about Black Widow. That is the movie that we are commenting today. And so, double thank you for finding time for us today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for the invitation. And well, I am very happy to talk about cinema. That is the subject that I love. So this is like some kind of celebration for me. So I'm happy.
Okay, so it's part of the birthday party. Okay, I
Yes.
can buy that. Yes, you know, on Language MTV, the last Thursday of each month, we focus on our series called Original Version. It's the name of this series on Language MTV on cinema. And we have been talking about different interesting topics in the previous months. And today, it's the first time that we somehow open this initiative of the Cinema Forum, where we choose a movie that we shared with you some couple of weeks ago, so you could have time to watch it. And today we are reviewing it and trying to learn and to appreciate it. And of course, I think it's an interesting analysis for both who haven't watched the movie and for those who have watched the movie. And of course, Luis will be very careful, warning
Yes.
every time that he is opening the box of the spoilers. And before starting, Luis, I think we should share some important facts about the movie that we are talking about today. It's a Marvel movie. I have to say
Yes.
that I know that you like very much Marvel movies. And I know, and something that I think is really interesting for our audience is that I think that you go really deep in your reviews and your critics of Marvel movies because for many people, perhaps even myself in the past, you have the tendency to consider these action movies like a little bit superficial or lack of substance and philosophy. But I think that in many cases there is more than action and more than superficial movies and pure entertainment. And I think that you are very good at that. And I think that your background and your experience, because all the fields that you touch, poetry, history, literature, arts, tarot, psychology, I think that let you go deeper. And I think that it's an interesting webcast today, even for those who are not so keen on Marvel movies. Um, and that's why we are especially happy to count on Luis. So yeah, Luis, is a Marvel movie is it number 24 in this universe. I don't know if you have watched
Yes.
the 23 previous ones.
Yes, of course. Since Iron Man, the first movie was Iron Man, and Iron Man opened this Marvel cinematographic universe that I believe that the director of Iron Man, the first one, Happy, the guy who played who played Happy John Favreau, the man behind the Mandalorian. Um, he never dreamed about this first movie will create this whole universe and all the stories that are like around this because there's not only movies when you watch series in Disney Plus, they are making the whole universe in cinema now in streaming, and I believe that they are going to another medias like video games, like mobile apps. There is a very big thing happening with Marvel that has no precedent, and this is like an amazing stuff. In these 24 movies, when we are talking, when we are including Black Widow, something special happened. That is that every movie, yeah, it's a different kind of hero. We have like Iron Man, that is a guy that is super smart, billionaire, and that we have Thor. Thor, it's like the god of thunder, and we have like Captain America, that is a super soldier. Every hero has this unique personality and unique journey around about the development of the character, and this makes like everyone can relate to a hero, and this is like I don't know, like a superpower that Marvel has, because when we are talking about DC Comics, DC don't have this kind of empathy for the characters. Well, we love Batman and Superman and Flash, and few years ago we had Shazam, and that is like my favorite hero of DC. But the DC character, there are no so close to the audience.
Sorry, there is some background noise. Give me 1 second.
Okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
But we are not so close with the DC heroes. But Marvel has this like, our characters can be related to anyone, and this, for me, this is one of the foundational stone that makes Marvel this, well, not only universe, this cinematical universe. No, it's like what the film critic calls, this is like a event. This is like all the people, all the people that go to cinema is waiting for this event to happen twice in a year. That, okay, this is the Marvel movie that we are waiting for. And Black Widow is one of the most anticipated movies, because this movie was scheduled to be in theaters the previous year, and due to the COVID-19 situation, the movie was like, okay, there is no, this movie is not going out. I believe the first release date was March, and they move it to July, and then move it to December, and this is like, oh my God, 1 year waiting for this movie. And something important to know is that Scarlett Johansson, Natasha Romanoff, this is a second character in Avengers movie. This is like a very little screen time character, but the people really love it. So Marvel, it's like, well, let's make a movie, a solo movie of Black Widow, and this is like some kind of debt that Marvel has with their fans, because they make Captain Marvel, that was a movie that for a lot of people was like, so, it's not bad, not so good. And Black Widow, yes, everybody thinks this, that is like the best superhero, a female superhero movie that Marvel has done to this day. Of course, we are sad because the character that Scarlett Johansson is playing, Black Widow, this character dies in Avengers Endgame. Well, this is not a spoiler; everybody knows this. And for some fans, this is like a bittersweet goodbye, but also this movie opens a door, because we have new characters like Yelena Belova, the character that Florence Pugh is giving life. Also, Alexei, David Harbour, and a lot of rumors are talking about that maybe Florence Pugh is will be the new Black Widow, and everybody's happy. So this is like a movie to say goodbye to Scarlett Johansson and to welcome a lot of new and amazing characters to this whole universe that Marvel creates in theaters.
Hmm. Yeah, like you said, we cannot call a spoiler the fact that Natasha Romanoff dies because she dies in the
Yes.
previous movie in the Avengers Endgame. Um, this Black Widow is a prequel because it's like the
Mhm.
story takes place before those events, and I think that one of the main reasons to create that story is to explain or to help the audience understand better the end of Natasha Romanoff in that movie. But yeah, technically it is kind of closing the stage and saying goodbye to this character and consequently Scarlett Johansson as the actress.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that I am representing the part of the audience that haven't watched the movie, and that is intentional because I always defend that these kind of webcasts are interesting, like I said before, for those who watched the movie and for those who didn't or haven't watched the movie yet, but they are interested anyway. So yeah, we are learning, and I wanted to have this point of view clean, let's say. You said before that two twice a year we have these special events with Marvel, and in this case it was different because it was 2 years ago, the previous one, because of
Yeah.
the COVID situation, and now we have this prequel, and you have already said that perhaps the best superhero movie with female as the main character. Um, well, coming from the Avengers, that was a movie where, like you said before, Natasha Romanoff had a secondary role. Um, how do you feel that this movie bonds well as a prequel with that movie? Do you see this continuation in the not only in the storyline but also in the character and the performance of Scarlett Johansson?
Something that is fascinating for some people, it's that it's all the background story about Black Widow, about the character that is the play that the role that is played by Scarlett Johansson, because she's like a super spy, something between James Bond and Jason Bourne, has this kind of dark background. Remember that Marvel, it's like the first phase of Marvel, the one that closed with the first Avenger movie. uh, these movies has this tone, let's say not for kids, but they are like very innocent movie with no violence, no the thing that the movies touch or revolve around. There are, yeah, not silly, but doesn't have this kind of more mature themes to talk. And Black Widow, in that phase, has this kind of dark background because she was brainwashed and she suffered some kind of abuse. It's never like exposed directly, but we can be like, yeah, I believe that there is a sad story behind her. And when we are right now knowing this background, and she was like kidnapped from her family, and she was abused, and they used drugs to alter her mind. She was brainwashed, and all like this political background around her makes the character, when we look all the movies before, more complex, and we understand better um, she's her motivation to do some to not only to say some dialogues in the movies, like all the subtext that are between the lines, but also we understand like all the full way of the decision that she makes in the movies, because after the blip, after the Thanos make the half of the universe disappear, she takes the role like some kind of leader of the Avengers. And when we watch Avengers Endgame, we are like, why Black Widow is taking this role? Because Captain America, it's helping people and talking with people about depression, and Captain Marvel, it's something like a police in the space, and she's in the headquarters, and she's like making all this organization trying to protect the world. And we are like, why Black Widow? Why don't try another character? And when we watch this movie, we understand why she acts like that. Because, and this is not a spoiler, because the characters say this in many occasions. The Avengers are like her family. This is something important to the development of this character. And also, now talking about the movie, it's not only about Natasha. It's a movie that always that talks about very dark, very sensitive themes that are how the women around the world are exploded
Exploited.
by
Hmm.
exploited. Thank you. About for are exploited by powerful men to take advantage of uh, their skills, maybe in some deadly ways, making they like super weapons, but also, yeah, Scarlett Johansson in the first movie, she acts like some kind of Mata Haris, some kind of femme fatale, and we are talking about the sexuality, the exploding and all these culture about the
Realization.
sexualization,
Yeah.
yes, of the women, and how some people take advantage of that. And this is a very delicate thing that is right now, when you watch the news and when you read the news, you are all we are always talking about how uh, dangerous, how painful is for some women around the world to be treated like some kind of merchandise.
Hmm.
Uh, right right now I read some news of the Olympics that the I believe that was the volleyball team of I don't know if it was Switzerland on
Norway,
I
perhaps.
don't no no way. Thank you. That they are talking about why we need to dress like in a sexy way with clothes that are so revealing, when the men are like in a t-shirt and shorts, and that is. And Black Widow talks about these things. Also, this is a movie direct by a woman, and this is not a very common thing in Marvel. We have in DC Patty Jenkins. She won the Oscar for Monster, and she's a terrific director and doing a terrific job. But in Marvel, there is no this common to see a woman in the chair of the director. Kate Shortland did a terrific job with Black Widow. We have Chloe Zhao directing the Eternals. That is the next Marvel movie at the end of the year. We also right now we have in streaming in Disney Plus Loki. One of the Loki is created by a man and a woman, and and all the every episode is directed by a woman, and this is important because we are talking about equally. We need to have this. Yes, for me, this is important that we have this equally in very important spots in the process of making a movie. Not only the men need to direct or be cinematographer or be or be editors. No, the women has the same rights to direct, to be screenwriters, and to create because they have this special vision of the cinema that sometimes, because they don't have the opportunity, can be can be or that or maybe these visions, maybe these aesthetics, maybe these authorial view, they're the producers are like, we don't know, we can have this risk. Maybe let's go for a man that have, I don't know, 20 action movies, but they take the risk with Kate Shortland, and I believe that she opens a door to another women to direct and to make these amazing action movies. And well, for me, there is no difference between a man or a woman in the director chair, but it's important to have this equality.
I think we could close this intro before going deeper in some of the aspects that you have already mentioned. You have touched already some archetypes that we can find on Black Widow. Actually,
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most important things when you review a movie, and also about equality, because of course it's not random. The fact that it's a female director telling this story at this moment. I think, like I said before, that we could close this intro sharing with the audience a little trailer where they can have, some I think it's 1 minute long with some images, real footage from the movie, and also some of the artists participating, sharing some feedback. I hope that the quality is good enough. Otherwise, we will stop it and we will continue, and then perhaps it would be okay to again, without spoilers, but to remind the audience a little bit about the plot, because you already said that Natasha is a spy, is somehow a movie
Yes.
about spies, and you have already given some information about her, but a little bit about the plot, so people can understand better what Black Widow is about. So yeah,
Okay.
give me 1 second so I can share the trailer with the audience.
Infinite opportunity. How to evolve into phase 4.
I'm done running from my past. Natasha is a product of all these films that we've done.
You will look at the past again in a new light, and we are sowing the seeds of new characters into the future of the MCU.
It's good to see you too, sis. Kevin's genius is that he thinks in this really huge, unexpected way.
You know a lot about the characters already, so there are presumptions that you bring to it.
Okay, you got a plan, or shall I just stay duck and cover? My plan was to drive us away.
And we would like to subvert those.
Well, your plan sucks. Marvel's created something absolutely extraordinary.
We're excited for people to go to theaters to see and experience this movie in its place in the pantheon of the MCU.
I made my choice. I'm done running.
Well, there we are. First of all, let me say that for those who like watching movies to learn English or to practice, Scarlett Johansson and Rachel Weisz are definitely the kind of actress that you can count on to practice your listening, because I would say that they have a really clear English, and the way they
Yeah.
articulate really facilitates that you can understand and enjoy the movie that you're watching. Luis, it's a movie about a spy,
Yeah.
that suffered some kind of abuse. So yeah, it's impossible not to connect her story with other stories that we have heard about before. Because in the end, in the movies, in the books that we read, the stories that we follow, there are always archetypes. Nothing is completely invented from scratch. But I think it's part of the interesting thing of work of art. So yeah, you have already mentioned a little bit of James Bond, and
Yes.
even, I don't know, Nikita or the Americans. There's what did you see behind the character of Natasha Romanoff?
Okay. And first of all, we're talking very little about the plot. The movie is it's after Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War. It's a movie that creates like some kind of fracture between the Avengers. There is like a political situation that revolves about the superhero needs to stay in the shadows, like to be anonymous, because if a superhero has this, for example, I am Iron Man and my name is Luis. Uh, Everybody can look or can stalk me or look after my family and try to hurt them. So with this Captain America, we are creating, with this movie Captain America Civil War, we are creating like this two sides of the coin. One side, it's we are superheroes with the government, and we are happy to everybody knew our identity. And another side of the coin, it's we want to remain no, we want to remain anonymous for the people, because this is the only way that we have to protect the one we love. Natasha in Civil War was in one side of the coin and suddenly flipped to the other side, and that put her in a situation, making her some kind of fugitive. So the movie starts with all the government looking for Natasha to put her in jail, and well, this starts with Natasha running away, and suddenly she is intercepted. We are not talking about the spoiler because this is in the trailer, for some mysterious character, and this character is connected to her dark past. So this is like this is a very short synopsis of the movie. And what is happening, it's some kind of plot that can be related not only to James Bond for the actions, the sequence on all this stuff. It's more related to Jason Bourne, the guy that plays Matt Damon, Bourne Identity, Bourne Ultimatum, Bourne, I don't know, I believe that there are 4 Jason Bourne movies. Because we are talking about some agent that doesn't have identity. Natasha did she she don't have family. Her name, she say, my name is Natasha Romanov, but maybe this is the name that someone assigned to her. She has this traumatic childhood. Well, she doesn't have childhood. She's like a killing machine at 10 years old. So this movie, it's in an archetype way. It's talking about a little girl that is innocent. Suddenly, she's kidnapped, kidnapped of her safe place and transformed to some kind of femme fatale, mataharis, this deadly weapon that it's going to be used to kill people. This is like one myth, the myth of Kore and Hades. Hades, it's Hades in the myth. It's like a metaphor of some of the content that we have in our psyches sometimes suffer this kind of violent rapture. This is like the traumatic experience for someone to go to the school. We know that the children, and some children are happy to go to the school, and other children are crying, and I don't want to left my mommy and my daddy. But this kind of raptor, this kind of this kind of raptor works like in a traumatic way to make these children grow up to develop his personality. And this is happening with Natasha Romanoff, of course, in a very dark way. So she's not like, I don't want to go to the school. She's like, I don't know who I am. Like say Melina Yelena is like some kind of family that she create in some point of her life, and they are important to Natasha. And this is a movie that revolves about the importance of family, the importance of well, maybe I don't know who I was, but right now I know who I am and what I am going to do, and what how my identity doesn't have to be a determinist on a determinist way of my future. So
Mhm.
it's a very complex movie in that way.
Yeah, because in the end, it's about who do we belong to. Like in the end, you are talking about identity, and
Yeah.
it's difficult to have a clear idea of your identity if you don't know where you belong to, because you were kidnapped from your family. And then you mentioned a couple of times before that also when you were describing the Avengers, that she found some kind of family, and these people around her that become important. I think it's not also a team in their battles. It's actually the family, the kind of people that mm, can give her some affection or support, but gives her also an identity, because it's easier to know or to have an idea about who you are when you know where you belong to, because belonging to Russia is not enough, in other words.
Yes, and also the Avengers are some kind or offer some kind of redemption to her, because Black Widow has killed a lot of people. She was, as I told before, like a deadly weapon to kill any kind of leaders, any kind of politics, any kind of yeah. Uh, Women, men, children. She has like this kind of issue that happened also with Bucky, the Winter Soldier, that he also have his he also has the brainwash He can kill anyone. And when we watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we are watching this journey of Bucky trying to find redemption. This is the journey that is going through Natasha, and not only in this movie, in all the arc that create the development of her character. And since Iron Man 2 to Avengers Endgame, she's always trying to redeem herself for all the damage that she has yeah done
Yeah.
in entire life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's a double trauma. It's the first trauma is when you lose and you are, taken, and you lose the main bond or
yeah,
attachment that a child should have, with the mother first and the father and the family around. So you lose that, but you don't need a redemption for that because it's not your fault, so you don't feel guilty. But the
yeah.
thing is that in her case, after that, there's a second trauma, which is and this brainwashing process that you described, which is, and she became a killing machine as a girl, and then you are a tool for political or military reasons, etc., which in the end is a process of dehumanization, which sounds like
Yes,
a Clockwork Orange is also there, is
yes,
the process, the political process to make you lose some human aspects to work as a machine or as a tool, doing what you are expected to do from a functional point of view, but something human takes place in this relationship with her new family that gives her this insight, and this is it's good to know who I am, but now I have to deal with who I have been, and now then
yeah.
I need this redemption, yeah, because this second trauma.
And also, not only Natasha, but all the girls that were abused, brainwashed. They believe that the only thing that they can do in their life it's to kill. They don't have any idea, or maybe I can dance, maybe I can create a family, maybe I don't know, have a puppy. No, no, no. They are my only goal in life is to follow orders and kill people. That's all. So also this is some kind of I can relate this movie with also the myth of the cave of Plato, that there are some people living in a cave. They are like handcuffed to a wall, and they are watching shadows, and they are believing that the reality are these shadows. Natasha is the one who break the handcuff and go out of the cave, and whoa, this is the reality, not the shadows. And she's trying to help another girls to get out of the cave and wake up. So once again, this is another type of redemption. Not only I'm going to save the world, and the other type of redemption is I also want to save the people that it's struggling with this brainwash and this horrible machine that make us like I don't know, like psycho killing robot machine, and try to give back this humanity factor to girls that um, lost everything.
Brilliant, Luis. That's really interesting, and that links very well with the beginning of this conversation when we were um, trying to defend that there are different ways to enjoy a Marvel movie or a superheroes movie.
Yeah.
It's a good action movie itself, and without thinking too
Yes.
much, you can enjoy it perfectly. But if you are more keen on kind of cinema with some, deeper background in each character and in the story, and try to find some philosophy there, of course, with the right perspective and with the right information, for sure, these kind of movies are also, enjoyable. Um, before moving to the section, our favorite section with the questions from our audience, I think it would be okay to play a second clip, also 1 minute long, with some more information with the making of. But one more question, Luis, before this second clip. Would you recommend people to watch this movie if they have not seen a single Marvel movie before? I mean, not even the Civil War or the Avengers. Like, they have no idea about this Marvel universe and the background. Is it a movie that you can enjoy?
Yes, and this is like a Marvel superpower that you can take any of these 20 something movies and watch it without any context, and you are going to enjoy it and you are going to understand all the things that are happening. Oh, you watch previously all the other movies, and yeah, you are going to be like another layer of conflict, but this is like a standalone movie without problems.
And if you watch the movie after this interview, it will be, again, even one superior layer, because you have learned very interesting information to try to understand in a better way the character of Natasha Romanoff especially. So yeah, time for you. Start thinking your questions for Luis, because I am playing the second clip of this session, and I will be very happy to listen to know from your questions and share them with Luis. Let's go.
Has never experienced before. The action in this film is real. You have these huge armored vehicles going through these iconic streets in Budapest. Budapest itself is so important to who Natasha really is and what drives her. And she finds this family from her past there. So we're going to talk like grown-ups? Is that what we are? Within like 2 days of knowing Scarlett, I was just ramming her into a door frame. All the lighting in this film is so emotional and about not knowing how to say what you feel. It's good to see you too, sis. There's some of the most intense fights that we've had in the MCU.
There's this big fight scene in this enormous prison. There were 400 extras.
This doesn't feel like a movie, it feels real.
I wanted to create something really visceral and fun, but to talk about Natasha as a human being, to let audiences see a side of her that they had never seen before.
I've spent a decade of time with this character, and she's finally able to write her own story.
Well, yeah, one of the things that we could. Sorry. 1 second. Yeah, there we had the director saying that she wanted to make a fun movie that we could enjoy, but also treating Natasha as a human being, and to. So I think that it was basically, in one sentence, what we have been trying to explain before.
Yeah, because she for a lot of Marvel fans was like underestimate character, underdeveloped character. In Black Widow we are watching her like shining, and for me was like, as a film critic, like, oh my god, Marvel, why you didn't make a Black Widow movie before? Because if by any chance you are not familiar with Marvel cinematographic universe and you watch Black Widow and you fell in love with Natasha and you make this homework of watch all the other movies, when you are in Avengers Endgame, the thing that happened with Natasha, then she sacrificed for all the people, gains like another level of significance, like another level of importance, and it's like, whoa, maybe I will maybe I cry a lot when Natasha Romanoff dies in Avengers Endgame. If Black Widow in a parallel universe was released like 2 years or 1 year before Avengers Endgame, and I watched that sequence, I believe that, I don't know, maybe I will cry like no tomorrow, because there is so much uh, intense emotions and very rude feelings for Natasha and what she did when you watch this Black Widow movie and you understand better what happened in Avengers Endgame.
Hmm. True. Thank you, Luis. Luis Bond, as you know, a film critic, filmmaker, professor of cinema at the University Andrés Bello in Venezuela, also as owner at his own studio, the Magus Films. Um, Brilliant analysis. I think very, very enjoyable conversation. Thank you very much. I wouldn't like to close this interview without questions from the audience, so it's your time. Anybody interested in asking any question to Luis?
You can watch the movie in theaters, but also is in Disney Plus. Uh, for because I know that due the COVID-19 situation, are like, I don't want to go to a theater, but you can watch it in your house without any problem, safety measures and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it was released simultaneously in theaters and Disney Plus, actually.
Yes, that is one of the strategies that a lot of movie are doing, and we watch this strategy. We see this strategy also with HBO Max. They release Space Jam 2 in theaters, but also they did the same thing in streaming. For me, this is the future. This is the common scenario that we have the option to decide to choose. I want to go to the theater to watch this movie, or well, this is not worth the risk, so I'm going to watch this movie at my home. This is the future, and well,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. When you see these big companies and studios doing that, is because it's the future.
yeah.
I am sharing a question that I can see in the chat. Um, Luis, Juan asks you if if you predict that cinemas will be running out of business, as it happened to companies like Blockbuster, companies that was used so this habit of taking movies to watch them at home, and from day to night, the
Yeah.
industry changed so much that, and Juan is perhaps wondering if you see the cinemas, I don't know.
I believe that the cinema, the theaters, all the experience to go to a theater and buy popcorn and watch a movie in a
The event,
full dark room. Yeah, the
the
event,
experience, yeah.
uh, the experience. This it's for me. This is like an eternal experience. This is like the people that I don't know, like 100 years ago, was like, okay, now we have television. The radio is going to die. The radio is still there,
It's like the book.
and
It's like
also,
the physical
yeah,
book. It's some things that we still need or are irreplaceable.
yes. For me, what will happen, and this is something that before the pandemic, a lot of film critics or directors were talking about. It's like the theaters will be some like the theaters will be used for these cinematographic events, for these Marvel movies that, or these action movies, Disney movies that you need to watch in a very big screen and have this the sound and the music, and to experience all this all the story like in the format that this story was created. This, for example, in the States, we have I don't know in Spain, and do you have IMAX
Yes, yeah, in Madrid at least.
in Madrid? Okay,
Yeah.
this IMAX experience, it's something that only you can live in a theater. So I believe that the streaming and the theaters can live in the same page without killing each other. But I believe that what will happen, it's like, yeah, movies, maybe like independent movies, indie movies, like these two or three character, two or three location will be released in a stream, because, well, I can watch a Woody Allen movie in my house without any harm. But if I really want to enjoy a Marvel movie, I need to watch it in a theater. So this is what is going to happen, and this is happening in a like in a natural way, in an organic way, because, for example, when I talk with my students in the classroom, are you going to the movies, to the theater to watch this movie? Some students are like, I only going to the movies to watch, I don't know, this Marvel movie, to watch Jungle Cruise of Disney, to watch A Quiet Place too, because they this is our movies that are made to be watched in theaters.
Yeah,
So
actually,
I believe that.
hmm, I think it's not a coincidence that in the past few years we found so many Marvel movies or so many action movies, because in the end I think the industry understood that it's the kind of
Yeah,
impacting experience that could survive easily. One more question in the chat, and the last one perhaps, because I guess that we have to close, about the casting, about the performance. I will try to rephrase it, because about Scarlett Johansson. Well, I mean, I'm sure that you have found interesting performances. I think it's even fun to see David Harbour, Hopper in Stranger
yeah.
Things in this role, and perhaps new surprises like Florence Pugh, you said before. But I think we have to ask you about Scarlett Johansson, that it's incredibly young, because she's still 36, because sometimes we have to remember
Yeah.
that she was 18 when she did Lost in Translation. So after a long
Yes.
career, she's still 36. So what do you think about her as an actress in general, and in this role as Natasha in Black Widow?
I really love Scarlett Johansson because she's a very versatile actress. You can watch Scarlett Johansson in independent movie like Lost in Translation. You can hear Scarlett Johansson on her. Um, and the last year we watched Scarlett Johansson in two very different movies, Marriage Story and Jojo Rabbit, and she's terrific in both of these characters. And in the Golden Globe, she was also nominated in both for
Categories
both
for
movies.
both
Yes,
movies, yeah.
categories. She also can do this very sophisticated action movies like Black Widow or Ghost in the Shell. And this is for me as director. I don't know, like I need to. I don't know how to say this in English. Like quitarse el sombrero, like
To
to.
take your hat off, literally.
Oh, okay, take my hat off, because it's very difficult to move between um, kind of movie that are, I don't know, like like they are antagonists, because doing comedy, doing drama, and go to the other side of the aspect and do action, there is not easy, because when you are doing an action movie, there is not only like I need to go to the gym. No, you need to do choreography of all the movements, and you need to work with a stunt that make these very difficult choreographies. This is like another level of range that the actor can give in the screen. And no, and this is not common because we always like try to put in boxes like, oh, Jason Statham, he's a terrific actor that do action, but try to take Jason Statham or Dwayne Johnson or Arnold Schwarzenegger and put they in an, I don't know, drama or comedy. Sometimes this is like a horrible experiment. And Scarlett Johansson can move easily between genres without problem. And this is not a common situation with an actress, with an
Definitely.
actress.
Yeah. Well, we could keep on talking about the movie as usual, but yeah, I think it's time to close. Just remind you that, well, in August we will have no a new episode on original version. We will, take a little break, and we will be back in September with another movie, and we will be sharing with you with time in advance. So Luis, go thinking the next
Maybe,
movies.
maybe we can talk about the Emmys because the Emmys are on September and we have a lot of series that are amazing and we can talk about that.
I buy it. So yeah, definitely. I think it's we have already chosen the topic for the next episode of original version. Anyway, remember that we have a new date next Thursday with our regular series. Actually, next Thursday is a very recommendable webcast. Jorge Agostinho from FINSA, the Spanish multinational, from the Human Resources Department, we are going to talk about how important it is English in the selection processes and the kind of aspects that these people responsible for recruitment take into account. Because sometimes we think that it's enough if you have a certificate, a Cambridge certificate, and then you already have the interview. I think you need to understand better what the modern selection processes are looking for, especially in terms of your English skills. So, as a spoiler, and fortunately, I think we have to admit that we didn't give actually any spoilers today. So,
Yeah.
congratulations also for that. Only one spoiler about the webcast next Thursday. I recommend you to have a more open-minded approach in your English training and focus on the communicative skills is what they need. People that really defend themselves and trust themselves and feel confident when they speak. So that's what we do on Lingua Gym. Luis knows because he's a member of our gym, and you can see that he can have problems with the language, but what he doesn't have is problems of confidence. So we are happy to help him in that way. And
Thank
there
you
we
very
are.
much.
We can find us on synergydidactics.com to start your free trial Lingua Gym. Otherwise, see you next Thursday at the same time on Lingua Gym TV with a new episode, like I said before. Luis, thank you very much again. Happy birthday, and enjoy now the rest
Thank
of the
you.
day properly with the adequate birthday party that you deserve.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Have a nice evening, everybody. Bye bye.